Hello from Dhaka, this is Moutushi Jubaida Rahman and you are watching Basis News. At first, the headlines. New Bangladesh emerges through signing of July National Charter, says Chief Advisor. Chief Advisor, political parties sign historic July National Charter. Fifth clause of July Charter amended reflecting July warriors' demands, says Ali Riaz. Shibir-backed panel sweeps RUCSU election. Trump says to meet Putin in Budapest after great call. Now let's go for the details. New Bangladesh emerges through signing of July National Charter, says Chief Advisor. Chief Advisor to the interim government of Bangladesh, Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus, has said that a new Bangladesh has emerged through the signing of the July National Charter 2025, which will guide the nation toward rule of law, justice, and prosperity after 16 years of brutality. Today is the day of our new birth. We have introduced a new Bangladesh through the signing, he said while addressing as the chief guest at the historic signing ceremony of the charter at the South Plaza of the Jatiyo Samsad Bhavan this afternoon. The chief advisor said the change was made possible by the student people-led July mass uprising and called for all to implement the charter by setting aside differences. He said we have to bring changes in our national life, in our constitution, and in running the government. Professor Yunus said the youths who sacrificed their lives for the change will now rebuild the country, adding that half of the 18 crore population is under 27 years. He said the July National Charter will serve as an example not only for Bangladesh but for the entire world, as many nations will come to learn how such a unified national signing was made possible. The Chief Advisor and Chairman of the National Consensus Commission, Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus, members of the Commission and leaders of different political parties signed the charter simultaneously. The ceremony began at 4:25 p.m. in a festive atmosphere with the Chief Advisor in the chair. Chief Advisor, political parties signed historic July National Charter. The historic July National Charter 2025 was signed this afternoon at the South Plaza of the Jatiyo Samsad Bhavan in the capital. Chief Advisor and Chairman of the National Consensus Commission, Professor Dr. Mohammad Yunus, members of the Commission and leaders of various political parties signed the charter. The ceremony presided over by the Chief Advisor began at 4:25 p.m. with a ceremonial parade followed by the national anthem sung in chorus. At 5:05 p.m., two representatives from each of the 25 political parties, along with the Commission's Vice Chairman and members, signed the charter. At 5:07 p.m., the Chief Advisor signed the document, which was then raised and displayed on stage. Commission members Justice Mohammad Imdadul Haq, Safaraj Hussain, Dr. Iftakharuzzaman, Dr. Bodiul Alam Mojumdar, and Dr. Muhammad Ayub Mia attended the ceremony conducted by Monir Haidar, Special Assistant to the Chief Advisor. Advisors of the interim government, senior political leaders, officers of the armed forces, journalists, lawyers, teachers, and distinguished guests from home and abroad were also present. The event began with a welcome address by Commission Vice Chairman Professor Dr. Ali Riaz, followed by Chief Advisor's address after the signing. The ceremony concluded with the screening of a short documentary on enforced disappearances, killings, and the Shapla massacre during the last 16 years of fascist rule. Among the participants were top leaders from 25 political parties, including the Bangladesh Nationalist Party, Bangladesh Jamaat-e-Islami, Nagorik Oikko, Liberal Democratic Party, Khilafat Mojlis, Amar Bangladesh Party, National Democratic Movement, Ganosonghoti Andolon, Jatiyo Samajtantrik Dol, Gon Odhikar Porishod, and others. The charter concludes with a 7-point commitment calling on political leaders to uphold the will of the people expressed in the July 2024 mass uprising, ensure democracy, justice, and national consensus. Fifth clause of July Charter amended reflecting July warriors' demands, says Ali Riaz. National Consensus Commission Vice President Professor Ali Riaz said today that the fifth clause of the July National Charter 2025 has been amended. He said the change came after Thursday's discussions with the July warriors and consultations with political parties. Professor Ali Riaz was addressing the demonstrating July warriors at the South Plaza of the Jatiyo সংসদ Bhavan in the capital. According to the Commission's press release, the amendment ensures justice for victims of disappearances, killings, and torture during the 16-year democratic struggle and the July-August 2024 mass uprising. The clause also promises state honors for the martyrs, recognition for their families, and declares the injured July warriors as state heroes. They will receive monthly allowances, medical treatment, rehabilitation, and legal protection. Commission members Justice Mohammad Imdadul Haq, Dr. Iftikharuzzaman, Dr. Bodiul Alam Mojumdar, Dr. Muhammad Ayub Mia, and Monir Haidar were present. Professor Ali Riaz said that the Commission would present the amended commitment to the government clearly and that there was no difference of opinion between political parties and the Commission on this issue. Shibir-backed panel sweeps RUCSU election. The Shibir-backed Samonito Shikkharthi Jot panel has won a sweeping victory in the Rajshahi University Central Students' Union election 2025. The panel secured 20 out of 23 central posts, including the positions of the Vice President and Assistant General Secretary. Chief Returning Officer Professor Sitaur Rahman announced the official results around 9:30 a.m. today at the university's Kaji Nazrul Islam Auditorium. He said the polls were held peacefully in a festive atmosphere. A total of 20,187 students out of 28,901 eligible voters cast their votes. According to the results, Mustaqur Rahman Jahid of the Shibir-backed panel was elected Vice President, defeating Sheikh Nur Uddin Abir of the Oikkoboddho Notun Projonmo panel backed by Jatiotabadi Chhatra Dal. The General Secretary post went to Salahuddin Ammar, coordinator of the Anti-Discrimination Students Movement, who contested from the Adhipatya Birodhi Oikko panel. In the Assistant General Secretary race, S.M. Salman Sabbir of the Shibir-backed panel won by defeating Jahin Bisho Esha of the JCD-backed panel. This year's RUCSU election saw 903 candidates contesting for positions in the Central Union, Hall Councils, and the University Senate. A total of 11 students panel participated in the election held at Rajshahi University. Trump says to meet Putin in Budapest after great call. United States President Donald Trump said he will meet Russian President Vladimir Putin in Hungary after what he called a very productive phone call on Thursday. Trump said the meeting is expected to take place in Budapest within 2 weeks, marking their second summit since his return to power. The Kremlin described the conversation as extremely frank and trustful and confirmed preparations for the upcoming summit. Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that the call aimed to explore ways to end what he called the inglorious war between Russia and Ukraine. He said United States Secretary of State Marco Rubio will meet his Russian counterpart Sergei Lavrov soon to finalize summit details. Trump added that Putin did not like his mention of possible Tomahawk missiles for Ukraine, and he questioned whether the United States could supply them without depleting its own stock. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Washington on Thursday, saying the threat of Tomahawk had pushed Moscow to return to dialogue. Zelensky said he hopes the momentum from Trump's recent Middle East peace deal will help bring an end to the war in Ukraine. Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orban confirmed that preparations for the United States-Russia peace summit are underway. In Ukraine, Russian strikes continued, targeting the energy grid and forcing nationwide rolling power cuts for the second day amid dropping temperatures. That's all for now. For more information, visit bassisnews.net. Thanks for watching.